So in this online agency space that we're all in, there's a lot of repetitiveness, there's a lot of copying, and there's a lot of people doing more or less the exact same thing. Take, for example, a few years ago when Iman Gadzhi really popularized SMMA, there was at least 100,000 agencies doing Facebook ads for e-commerce businesses. And now it's definitely gone kind of more into, local businesses, and now especially with AI automation, there's a few other things that you can do. But what I want to show you in this video is something that it's basically 100% guaranteed that at some point you'll need to implement into your agency, but nobody really talks about it. And I call this transitioning into a hybrid agency. Now, really quickly, if you don't know who I am, I'm Matt. I built an agency and now I'm building a coaching business, basically teaching people what I did with the agency and still do with the coaching business. And really the entire goal with what we do is helping more early stage agency owners hit that $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 per month. So getting into it, when you are starting your agency, absolutely, you should be doing done for you, right? Let's say you're doing advertising service, you're doing, Google Ads. You should be the one doing the Google Ads. That's kind of, level one basics. Then, of course, after that, once you progress, when you're at 5 clients, 10 clients, 15 clients, making 10, 20K per month, we want to create a team, right? Especially when it comes to something like media buying. We want to be able to hire a good, strong media buyer to take over for our clients so that you can have more free time to do more high leverage activities. That's simple, and we basically all know that. But to scale beyond that, the consensus really is that to get to 50, 100, 200K per month plus, the agency model that you might use to get to 10, 20, 30K is not as strong. It is still absolutely possible, but it's possible with a lot of headaches, and to an extent the juice isn't worth the squeeze when you have this other method, which is the hybrid method. Now, up until this point, you've been doing everything completely done for you, right? Where they pay you, you get all the information, you get all the access, and you handle everything else. What you need to be doing once you're scaling to that point where you already have a very good amount of clients. And by the way, if this isn't you right now, it's completely okay. I make these videos for beginners specifically, but I want to kind of show you just so you can have a mental model as to what your agency is going to look like in the future if you want it to look like this. So what it's going to look like I said, is a bit more of a done with you thing, where as you progress further and further and further and further, a lot of it becomes more hands off on your end, where you create SOPs and you create training videos and you create course videos for your clients to do a big part of the work. So to give you a very good example is adspend.com. Adspend.com is a perfect example of a hybrid agency. So they do YouTube ads. So what they'll do is they'll build out the YouTube ads and do the first 30 days of the ads to kind of get them up and running. And then at the same time, in those 30 days, they'll have you go through a training video so that you know how to manage them, and then you can do it for the rest of your life, or however long you want to run the ads for. And that model works so well because the client is still getting all the value with a little bit more work on their end. And what it means is that you can go from having 20 clients be your max limit to 100 clients be your max limit. It completely removes the bottleneck of service delivery. Now, the obvious caveat here is that you shouldn't go straight into this, because as an agency, if you've never run YouTube ads before, probably doesn't make sense to start teaching them to your clients just yet. The reason that we do done for you at the start is, number one, because it's an easier offer to sell when we have less testimonials, less confidence, a worse offer. And number two is because it's just more value, right? You're doing it all completely done for you, so the client wastes no time at all, and it's very, very efficient. So at the start, done for you, right? To that 10, 20, 30K per month. When it's very obvious that the done for you thing is struggling, and that's a very clear bottleneck, we can start to pivot more and more and more towards done with you. So where maybe you go from done for you to done with you onboarding, and then you go from done for you to done with you sales. Maybe that's like the last part of the funnel. You start to move to done with you, and then you end up doing done with you lead nurturing, and then after a while, when you have a lot of clients and you've really mastered it, you can move to essentially done with you even advertising as well, where you like adspend.com, you do the setup and then they do the rest, right? That's going to allow you to scale to incredible figures, but not have this dreaded fucking hatred of your service delivery, where you have, 10 different media buyers and this whole complex thing. It makes things a lot more simple. And I mean, ultimately, doing this or not doing this, like having a hybrid agency or having a regular agency, just comes down to your goals. The majority of the people that start an agency start it for, for financial freedom, for location freedom. They can be in Thailand, like where I am right now, to, enjoy themselves, to have freedom and to make a bunch of money. If that's the case, this hybrid offer will let you scale even further with less work. So it's a win-win for those people. But for the people that are trying to go down the more corporate side, or maybe they want to, sell the business, or maybe they want to, bring it into some big thing where they have, dozens and hundreds of workers, then moving towards a more done-for-you option, where potentially you can scale the revenue higher, but the profit might even be lower. Because I mean, in this one, maybe you're making 300K per month, and 220 of that is profit. Maybe in this one, you can make up to 1 million a month, but maybe 200K of that is profit, and 80% of it is going back into the business. So it's really completely up to you in terms of the path that you want to take. But ultimately, for the majority of people watching this video, the hybrid model will be a lot better. So this is not something that I want you to implement right now into your agency if you're just a beginner, but this is in the cards too. This is something that's going to play out in the future. Where right now, you just need to put in the work, you need to grind, you need to get your systems in order, scale, hit 10, 20, 30K per month, and then when it makes sense to, transition more and more and more and more towards a hybrid agency. So if you are a more early stage agency owner, the first link in the description is for you. So go ahead, click that right now. Please do all the usual stuff, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.